Live from Red Zone Weather, this is a severe weather alert.
A little after 4:15 p.m. we have a new tornado warning for parts of eastern Clark County over in West Alabama. This is a tornado warning, meaning you've got to get sheltered right now if you're involved in this, as there could be a tornado on the ground very near the U.S. Highway 84 corridor, coming into areas near Cyrene and the Old Line Road in Clark County. Good Sunday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. This is a tornado warning. This is a low-end risk day for many communities, but for the areas now involved in this tornado warning, there is a call to action in place for parts of eastern Clark County. First thing I want to do, let's show you the tornado warning of who is involved in this. And there's your new tornado warning. This is going to be, again, for parts of Clark and Monroe counties over in West Alabama. And this tornado warning box is actually going to be on the board until 5 o'clock local time. Current time is 4:24 p.m. Possible tornado is very near the U.S. Highway 84 corridor, moving northeast just like that. This is going to remain over a pretty rural area, but nonetheless, this is a tornado warning, and we need you to be sheltered right now, as there could be a tornado on the ground very near the intersection of Highway 84 and the Old Line Road, there near the Suggsville Water Tower over in eastern Clark County, which is in West Alabama. Just getting our new Red Zone Weather app alert out for our good folks in Clark County that are involved in this warning. And again, this is a situation where we have a brief spin-up tornado being possible. Let's go back over to the radar and we'll zoom in real tight. This possible tornado is going to pass to the east of Grove Hill. If you're in Grove Hill, you are A-OK right now. There's no issues in Grove Hill. Same thing in Thomasville. If you are at Thomasville, you have nothing to worry about right now, as this possible tornado is going to clearly pass to your east. However, with that said, places like Cyrene, also Whatley, Nettleboro, the Old Line Road is right here. You've also got areas north of the Claiborne Lock and Dam included. Let me stress as well, vast majority of Monroe County is not included at this point in this active tornado warning. This is for a small sliver of Monroe County, two very large counties in our area. This is Clark, this is Monroe. And again, this possible tornado is basically going to move just like this, probably missing Monroe County entirely just to the east, or to the west, I should say. But the Weather Service, in their assessment, thinks that this is going to be so close to this northwestern sliver of Monroe that they've decided to add that part of Monroe County into the tornado warning. Again, current time is 4:26 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, and we're tracking a possible tornado in eastern Clark County. Let me stress, you are not most likely going to be able to see this thing. This is probably a rain-wrapped tornado very near or just to the east of Whatley. You know what happens in through here, this is U.S. Highway 84 right here. This is U.S. Highway 43. And so clearly this possible tornado is going to pass to the east of Highway 43. And I'm telling you, this is basically paralleling the Old Line Road. If you are familiar with this area, that is kind of your north to south drag in the eastern part of Clark County. So if you know anyone near the Old Line Road, from the Suggsville Water Tower, which is right here on top of the hill just to the east of Whatley, north, back up to areas near Cyrene and Nettleboro, call them, text them, tag them, let them know that they are under imminent danger from what could be a tornado on the ground in eastern Clark County. Again, for folks that are watching in Thomasville, you are A-OK. There's nothing to worry about in Thomasville at this point. Same thing in Fulton. If you are at Fulton or Dickinson, areas near the railroad tracks, the Norfolk Southern Railroad tracks there near Fulton and Dickinson, you are okay. This is going to pass to your east. The concern is for the far eastern part of Clark County, north of U.S. Highway 84. This also does include areas south of Alabama Highway 10 over here in Wilcox County. And so that would include places like Yellow Bluff, Pine Hill, and Coy under the gun from this possible tornado. In fact, this possible tornado likely will cross into Wilcox County very near the community of Lower Peachtree, which is in the far southwestern flank of Wilcox, right in through here. This is the only cell that we have going across our local area as of 4:28 p.m. Elsewhere across the region, we do have some heavier bands of rain happening near Pensacola, Chumuckla, and Pace. You've also got lighter rain happening near Atmore, Bruton, back up into areas near Evergreen. Also tracking a small cell south of the tornado warning in areas near Gainestown. But clearly the only issue that we have in terms of an imminent tornado threat is currently happening in parts of northeastern Clark County. We do note that in the west central part of Alabama, if you know someone in Sumter County, parts of Sumter County, well to the north of our local area, parts of Sumter also involved in an active tornado warning. But again, we are here for this issue in eastern Clark County. We'll zoom in real tight. And again, the main landmark that people know right in through here is going to be the old line road that runs all the way down to areas just to the east of Whatley. Big Hill on US 84 is right here. You go down the hill, you get down into areas near the railroad track, near Whatley. This possible tornado is now going to be to the north of Whatley. And so no issues at this point from a tornado in Whatley proper in Clark County. The tornado threat is now to your north, out in this hilly terrain of high eastern Clark County. Again, coming into areas out here near Cyrene and Nettleboro. This is going to pass to the west of the Claiborne Lock and Dam. This storm is not going to be an issue for the Claiborne Lock and Dam, which actually sits right here in western Monroe County. The dam is right here. This is the Alabama River right in through here. This storm is likely going to pass just to the west of there. And so no warning for areas near Claiborne in Monroe County at this point. Tell you what, let's go over to our different source and look at the whole state and see what's going on. Again, tornado warning for eastern Clark County and southwest Wilcox County, Pine Hill, Yellow Bluff, Possum Bend, and Coy, and Lower Peachtree and Wilcox involved in that tornado warning. In addition, you've also got this cell. I see now that parts of Greene County are now involved in a separate tornado warning in west central Alabama. So again, parts of Clark, the far northwestern corner of Monroe, southwest Wilcox, and much of northern Greene County now involved in active tornado warnings as of 4:30 p.m. But again, we are here because of this. This is our cell in eastern Clark County that is very near Cyrene. Possible tornado is going to be on the back flank of this cell, moving just like that. And again, on that trajectory, it likely will cross into Wilcox County in about 5 minutes or so. You could have some small hail in here on the old line road and areas near Cyrene, north of the Claiborne Lock and Dam. You can see some darker areas of red and purple, and that indicates to us that this cell could be producing small hail in addition to potentially a tornado as it continues moving off to the northeast. We'll go in here. This is the technical data. This is the velocity. Just to get your bearings straight, your possible tornado is going to be right here. Let's actually zoom in to the cell. We're using Radar Scope on an iPad. That's a free app, or excuse me, that's a $10 app, I should say, available for purchase to see more of this technical data. There's your possible tornado. It has now crossed north of Highway 84. And so if you're traveling this afternoon, we can give you an all clear. There is no more tornado risk at this point on US Highway 84 from Grove Hill all the way back over to Mexie and Monroeville. You're fine to travel on US 84 at this point. Possible tornado is right in through there. It's kind of entering a part of the radar beam there where it's high in the atmosphere, higher in the atmosphere anyway. And this cell is moving just like that. So this thing will quickly be into Wilcox County in about 5 minutes, very near the community of Lower Peachtree. Just looking at a few other sources here to see what we've got going on. And it has been a quiet day so far in terms of action across our region. We had the first tornado warning in the state issued about 30 minutes ago for parts of Greene and Pickens County to the west of Tuscaloosa. There actually was a confirmed tornado touchdown with debris being lofted into the sky in northern Greene County, north of the Union community. And again, that's west of Tuscaloosa. That's far north of our area. But again, the reason we are here is this. This is a tornado warning for eastern Clark, and I'm talking the far northwestern corner of Monroe County. You know, it's kind of a hard call because you don't want to ever trigger a warning for a county that's not going to be under a threat of a tornado, but this one was such a close call, and I think it's a good call, by the way, that the Weather Service in their assessment had to include a small, and I'm talking real small, part of northwestern Monroe County out here toward areas north of the Claiborne Lock and Dam. Community of Chance sits right here. There's Packers Bend. And again, the old line roads is right there. That actually runs into Wilcox County near Lower Peachtree, which is right here. And this cell could be producing a tornado probably right in through here, very near the community of Cyrene. All right, lifting off to the northeast just like that, moving at northeast actually at about 35 miles an hour. Let's look elsewhere across our region. I want to zoom into the coastal areas as well. This is simply rain. There is some embedded lightning I see. You've got 11 strikes. There's your strike counter right here. And again, 11 strikes of lightning in this whole area over the last 5 minutes. So there is some lightning, not very much, but this is simply areas of heavy rain in parts of Baldwin, Escambia County, Florida, and also Santa Rosa County in northwest Florida. This batch of rain is moving off to the east, and as it does so, we'll have to kind of watch the leading edge of this as it moves into parts of Okaloosa and Walton counties. Could have a few severe thunderstorm warnings if those storms ramp up. But the tornado risk is low today. It's not zero, but it is low. And again, the risk at this moment is highest in parts of eastern Clark County, near Cyrene. Perhaps you're just joining us. It's 4:34 p.m. If you are just joining us and you are in Thomasville, Coffeyville, Grove Hill, areas near Campbell, Silitpa, Toddtown, Jackson, Gainestown, all those areas that I just called out, you have no tornado threat. This is specifically for areas well to the east of U.S. Highway 43 and well to the north at this point, about 5 miles anyway, north of U.S. Highway 84 near Cyrene in the far northeastern corner of Clark County, coming into areas near Wilcox County. And again, that would be communities like Coy, Pine Hill, Possum Bend, areas near the McMillan-Blodell paper mill, also at Lower Peachtree, right in through here. Possible tornado is ultimately going to cross into Wilcox County in about 3 to 5 minutes. Looking down to see if we have anything in the way of updates from our friends at the National Weather Service. And again, at this point, I am not seeing anything in the way of damage, but if you have damage from this possible tornado, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Or if you know someone that has perhaps posted on Facebook that they've had damage from this, please let me know in the comments below. It is so helpful. All these ground truth reports, you know, we've had more ground truth reports during this severe weather season with all these events we've been having lately than any other season over the last few years. And we are so grateful to each of you watching so that we can pass along the data in terms of damage photos to the Weather Service. That is so helpful in terms of verification. So again, if you have damage, please let me know in the comments below. Let's go back over to the iPad because this cell continues to hold its own in terms of its strength. Again, you're looking at eastern Clark County right in through here. This is Monroe County here, and this is Wilcox County. There's your area of circulation. The radar beam is probably hitting this at about 4,000 to 5,000 feet above the ground. And so this is not the best coverage zone for radar data per se in the northern parts of Monroe and Clark counties. But with a signature like that, I certainly understand why the Weather Service is holding this tornado warning, because there very well could be a tornado right in through here near Cyrene, near the community of Chance, coming into areas out here near Lower Peachtree in eastern Clark County. Again, very strong evidence of a tornado happening right there where those two colors in terms of the darker red and that lighter shade of yellow intersect. That very well could be a tornado in eastern Clark County moving just like that. Let's actually look at the gate to gate on that and kind of measure things out. Looking at, let's see, 36 plus 74. You're looking in the neighborhood of 100 mile per hour winds in terms of your rotation. So if that by chance is extending to the surface, and it very well could be in the form of a tornado, could have upwards of 100 mile per hour winds associated with that, perhaps even higher as this lifts off to the northeast. Again, this is a tornado warning that continues for Clark County over in West Alabama. It's actually for the eastern part of Clark County. That's kind of confusing. Eastern part of Clark County, which happens to be located over here in West Alabama. Let's look at the storm back behind it too. These storms are kind of training today, going over the same areas. In other words, this is U.S. Highway 43 right here. This is U.S. Highway 84. And this cell that's actually very near Gainestown right now is ultimately going to move over the same areas near Watley and also near areas like Gosport to the west of the Alabama River over the next few minutes. That cell is broadly rotating, but there's no warning out on that. And, I don't really expect a warning to be issued with a signature like what it's showing right now. Again, the only cell that we have going as of 4:38 p.m. on this Sunday evening is for eastern Clark County. Cyrene is here. This is Nettleboro. And I know I've said it 500 times just in the last 10 minutes, but the main north to south road in through here that everyone in this part of the world is familiar with is the Old Line Road. If you live near that road and you're north of US Highway 84, out towards areas just to the east of Fulton, you need to be in that tornado safe place. Again, possible tornado is going to be on the back flank of this low-topped shower. This is not going to be most likely a long-track violent tornado, but rather this is going to be a tornado that probably doesn't last very long. But again, if a tornado affects you, it's a big deal. And so you got to have a way to get the warnings. And in a situation like this where we already have a warning, you need to be taking action to protect yourself right now. In fact, let's go over to our graphics. And again, for the folks near Cyrene, Packers Bend, Coy, Lower Peachtree, areas near Pine Hill, Possum Bend, and also areas there near Chance. This is what you want to do right now. If you can get underground, if you have a storm shelter, that's great. If you don't, that's okay. We want you to get to the middle part of a site-built structure, away from windows and away from doors, as this possible tornado very near Cyrene and Nettleboro continues moving to the northeast. Again, this is likely going to cross directly into Wilcox County and ultimately miss Monroe County entirely. Again, like we've been talking about, this is your far northwestern corner of Monroe County, and the Weather Service did a nice job of including the folks who may live in this particular patch of land. And I mean, this may be 3 square miles. This is not a big chunk of Monroe County at all. But for folks in Franklin and Vredenburg points to the southeast, you are okay. No issues, no tornado issues right now in Monroeville, Mexie, Purdue Hill, Uri, Beatrice, anywhere else in Monroe County. This is strictly for the far northwestern corner of this cell in Clark County that's ultimately going to likely cross directly into Wilcox County. Let's go back over to the state view and see what our storm in central Alabama is doing. And tell you what, let me step off camera real quick and grab our mouse for this regional radar view. And I'm working this event solo today. This is not going to be one of these events where we're up all night and we need other people here. And so it's a little bit more challenging to work these events solo. Again, watching another tornado warning storm here in the northern part of Greene County. This is going to be very near and just to the north of areas like Utah in Greene County, Alabama. Tuscaloosa is here, and based on that trajectory, it looks like this storm will clearly miss Tuscaloosa, the campus of the University of Alabama, and Northport well to the east. And so you had a tornado warning for parts of Pickens and Greene County, I should say, earlier, but now another storm has formed in those same areas, and it's lifting off to the northeast. Again, not going to be an issue for Tuscaloosa or Northport. We'll go back over to our storm in Clark County, Alabama, which is the reason we are here this afternoon. And again, this cell came on the board at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we actually had several other cells we were watching in parts of Clark and Washington earlier that were rotating. You can kind of see those there, but this is the storm today that has ramped up. And I wouldn't be shocked after this tornado warning comes to an end in the next 10 to 15 minutes, most likely, if we didn't have any more warnings today. This is not going to be one of these things where we're up all night, most likely tracking severe weather. We may have more warnings, 1 or 2 more, but again, this is not going to be some high impact event, kind of like the events that we had over the last few weeks with multiple trees coming down across the region, hail up to golf ball and baseball size in some cases. None of that most likely today. This is a far more isolated event where we could have a brief tornado or 2, but that's pretty much it. And I say that's pretty much it. I hate saying things like that because if a tornado affects you, it's obviously a big deal. Coming up on 4:45 p.m. and again tracking this storm to the east of Thomasville. You have never been involved in this tornado warning if you're in Thomasville. So go about your business. Same thing at Fulton, Grove Hill, Springfield, Sand Flat. Also, Tallahassee Springs, Zimco, Opine, Bashi, Coffeyville, nothing for you. This cell is far to your east. Same, again, can't be stressed enough. In Thomasville, you are okay. This cell is going to move into areas like Lower Peachtree and Coy in Wilcox counties over the next 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, this thing has basically paralleled the old line road. For those of you familiar with this area, you know at the intersection of Highway 84 and the old line road, you got that water tower that says Old Suggsville Water, all right? And that water tower is right there. But if you live near that water tower, you are out of the tornado danger zone. Possible tornado is now clearly north of you, about 8 miles north of you at this point, and moving off to the northeast into Wilcox County, all right? So again, 4:44 p.m., this is the only warning that we have as of this particular moment. And I'm getting a message from the Weather Service at the Storm Prediction Center is actually going to issue a tornado watch for parts of west central Alabama. We have a confirmation now that a tornado watch will be issued for parts of west central Alabama over the next little bit. In fact, let's zoom out on our regional radar view here, and that's going to end up being for places like Tuscaloosa, Aliceville, Demopolis, maybe as far south as Thomasville and Jackson. I don't know the counties that they're going to involve in this tornado watch, but this is clearly going to be your zone over the next few hours in the west central part of the state, where the Storm Prediction Center may or will issue a tornado watch, I should say. But again, we are here because of this tornado warning as of 4:45 p.m. that is about to be exclusively for Wilcox County. It is not yet, but in a matter of 1, 2, maybe 3 minutes from now, the Weather Service will likely trim this polygon, and this will exclusively be an issue for Wilcox County, coming into areas near Yellow Bluff, Possum Bend, and near the big paper mill, which is formerly known as the McMillan Blodell Paper Mill there on Alabama Highway 10. If you're familiar with this area, you got the Alabama River and then the big paper mill. You come into areas near Pine Hill. This is Alabama Highway 5 right here. So the big call to action at this point, we would say no travel from Camden back over to Pine Hill on Alabama Highway 10. This stretch of highway, if you know someone that may be in that area, tag them in the comments below and let them know that they simply cannot be on the road between Pine Hill and Camden on Alabama Highway 10 over the next 10 to 15 minutes as this possible tornado comes into areas near Coy, Lower Peachtree, and ultimately Pine Hill, Possum Bend, Yellow Bluff, and also near the big paper mill there on Alabama Highway 10. This is a very, very rural part of West Alabama. This is not, a highly densely populated area, and so it's going to be pretty hard to get ground truth reports from this particular area most likely. But again, the Weather Service in their assessment, they maintain a tornado warning for eastern Clark, northwestern Monroe, and that includes areas basically near Chance and also even Franklin and Veredenburg not included in the warning. And this is going to come into Wilcox. I see there's our new tornado watch that has just come on the board. And just to call out the counties involved in that, this does not include any of our local counties. So if you're in Southwest Alabama or Northwest Florida, you are not going to be involved in this new tornado watch that's going to be valid. Let's see what time this is on the board till. If I can go back over to our NWS chat feed, I believe I'll be able to see the expiration time. It has literally in the last few seconds just popped up in our system. This is going to be on the board until 10 o'clock. And so again, this is a new tornado watch that is valid until 10 o'clock local time for Marengo, Dallas, Perry, Bibb, Hale, Greene, Sumter, Pickens, Tuscaloosa, Fayette, and Lamar counties here in West Alabama. This also includes places back in Mississippi from Jackson back over to Meridian up to Starkville, Columbus, areas near Louisville, Philadelphia, back up to Oxford, involved in this new tornado watch that's valid until 10 o'clock tonight. Again, local counties not involved in the tornado watch, but we do see that, again, a part of our area remains involved in this active tornado warning for the next 1 to 2 minutes. This thing is rapidly going to clear into Wilcox County. Let's go into the iPad view here, because this signature is certainly holding its own as it crosses the county line into Wilcox County. Again, this has now exited areas like Whatley and Cyrene, coming into areas near Coy and Lower Peachtree. And so if you're in Coy, Lower Peachtree, Possum Bend, Yellow Bluff, Pine Hill, you are the next in line to see this possible tornado as it continues moving basically north-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. This is going to be a big issue potentially for areas near Yellow Bluff. And so if you know someone at Yellow Bluff or anywhere near the large paper mill on Alabama Highway 10 in West Alabama in Wilcox County, call them, let them know they need to be off Alabama Highway 10. You've also got Wilcox County Road 18 right in through here that connects Pine Hill back over to Yellow Bluff, which is kind of the alternate route near the railroad right there in western Wilcox County. Again, possible tornado exiting out of Clark, moving into Wilcox County. I see that we now have an update from the Weather Service, and this is actually going to be a bit of good news for our local area. The tornado warning for Clark and Monroe is now off the board, and so this is now exclusively an issue for parts of western Wilcox County here in Alabama. And so again, possible tornado has now cleared into Wilcox County, which is out of our local area. If you're in Wilcox County, you belong to the Montgomery television markets. WSFA and WAKA are the two choices you have to watch tornado warning coverage here. But again, for our local area, we can now give an all clear to all parts of southwest Alabama in Clark and Monroe counties, and points back to the south. So again, the tornado warning is now for Wilcox County and Wilcox County alone. Again, Clark and Monroe, if you live in Clark and Monroe County, you are now out of the tornado warning. So let's talk about what's going to happen over the next few hours. I know that we've got a lot of folks watching that are not involved in this active, or weren't involved, I should say, in this active tornado warning. We now have rain that continues, heavy rain at times actually, near the coast, near places like Gulf Breeze, back down to areas like Pensacola Beach. Light to moderate rain is currently happening across the Pensacola Metro, back up into areas near Milton and Pace. You've also got storms happening along the Florida State Highway 87 corridor, extending from areas near Berrydale all the way back down to Whiting Field, right in through here. This is a heavier band of rain, but no warnings out for any part of northwest Florida at this time. And to be completely frank, we're not expecting many, if any more, in the way of tornado warnings. Now, we may have a few more. That's certainly not out of the realm of possibility, but there is a chance that this one tornado warning may be the one event for our local area today. Let's actually see if we can clear off all of the data, and I want to be able to show you the the day one convective outlook, because this is the risk that we have over the next few hours. You have a level 2 out of 5 slight severe weather risk, basically from areas here in northern Monroe County near Beatrice, extending down to Uri, Atmore, back down to Loxley, down to Fort Morgan, points back to the west. And so if you're in Mobile, Baldwin, Clark, or Washington counties, you have the highest risk over the next several hours. And again, it's a low-end risk across the region. It does not matter specifically where you are. This is generally a lower end risk compared to the events that we've had over the last few weeks, but it's still a risk. And so again, for folks in the yellow zone, Mobile, Thomasville, Jackson, Grove Hill, Chatham, Milry, Butler, back down to Wilmer, Dauphin Island, Fairhope, Daphne, Spanish Fort, Bay Minette, all those areas have a slightly higher severe weather risk over the next few hours. If you're in the darker shade of green, this is the marginal severe weather risk, where the atmosphere still may support a severe storm or two before the end of the day, but the risk is lower in places like Bruton, Monroeville, Evergreen, Greenville, Andalusia, Pensacola, Milton, Pace, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Pensacola Beach, back over to Crestview, involved in that low-end severe weather risk. Over here in southeast Alabama and the Florida Panhandle, those communities are involved in the general thunderstorm zone, which is where we're not expecting widespread severe weather. That includes places like Opp, down to Niceville, Destin, Panama City, Seaside, Mariana, Dothan, Geneva, areas near Elba and Enterprise. And so that's your severe weather risk as it stands right now. Again, an active tornado watch does continue for areas just to our north in parts of, or all parts I should say, of Marengo, Dallas County, points north, back up here into areas like Tuscaloosa, Aliceville, Fayette, and Vernon here in West Alabama. Most likely, if you get more warnings over the next few hours, most likely going to happen in these yellow shaded counties from Livingston back over to Selma up to Centerville in that general area. Across the region, we're going to continue to track this rain and area of thunderstorms that's happening near Pensacola back down to the Pensacola Beach area. We're also going to be watching this cell over the next hour or so as it moves basically in the same areas that were previously under the tornado warning about 10 minutes ago here in eastern Clark County. So heavy downpours of rain possible near Watley, also near Suggsville, areas near Cyrene. Another downpour on its way, but that storm for now is under severe limits. You know the drill. If we have more tornado warnings, we will come back on the air and bring you the very latest, but our coverage is going to resume in the Red Zone Weather app over the next few minutes. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson saying goodbye for now. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll try to get to those in just a little bit. Have a good evening.